Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is about principles of bookkeeping controls, and today we're going to practice answering some exam questions about extracting trial balance. Before we proceed, I have discussed about the trial balance in my previous videos. If you want to check them out, I have put the link in the description down below. Now let's go to our example. Number 1, complete the remaining ledger accounts by inserting the balance carried down on each account. Enter your answers to 2 decimal places. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts, and we have to insert the balance carried down on each of these accounts. In short, we have to balance each of these accounts, and we already know how to do that by inserting the balance carried down to the side that has the lower total. In this example, we already know where to insert the balance carried down. All we have to do is calculate the amounts. First is the discounts received. The debit side has nothing in it, so we will just calculate the credit side. And we have to insert 697.59 to debit to make both the totals equal. Next is the VAT control account. Let's get the difference of the totals of both sides. So we already know the total of the debit side, which is 122.48. Let's get the total of the credit. So 1018.25, let's deduct the 122.48, and we got 895.77. This should be our balance carried down. Next, let's go to sales returns. Our credit side has nothing in it, so we will just total our debit, which is 223.49, and this should be our balance carried down. And the last is bank account. So we have entries on both debit and credit. So let's get the total of each side. Then let's write them down here to the side. Then let's get the difference of these two totals. And we got 4,998.93, and this should be our balance carried down. Don't forget to double check if the total of the debit and credit are equal for each of these accounts before proceeding to the next question. Now let's move on to number 2. Complete the trial balance by inserting the missing figures and calculating the total for each column. Enter your answers to 2 decimal places. So we can see the 4 missing figures, which are the bank, sales returns, discounts received, and VAT control account. And we will enter the balance of each of these accounts that we have just calculated earlier. Now please don't be confused on which side you have to put the balance of these accounts, either debit or credit. Remember that the figures that we enter in the trial balance are the balance brought down of each account, not the balance carried down. So let's go to the first account, which is discounts received. We can see the balance carried down is in the debit side, but remember the balance brought down is the one that we need. And the balance brought down is always inserted to the opposite side where we entered the balance carried down. So in here, the opposite side is credit, so we will enter this amount to credit. Next is VAT control account. Our balance carried down is in debit, so our balance brought down will be on the opposite side, which is credit. So let's enter this amount in credit. Next is sales returns account. Our balance carried down is in credit, so the balance brought down will be on the opposite side, which is debit. So let's enter this amount in debit. And the last is the bank account. Our balance carried down is in credit, so the balance brought down will be on the opposite side, which is debit. So let's enter this amount in debit. And then we have to calculate the total for each column. And the total of the debit should be equal to credit. And we're done answering all the questions, but before I end this video, let me just give you a few tips. First is to always double check your calculations, not only by checking if the totals are equal, but also recalculating your answers. Now, it might seem like too much work, or you might think you'll run out of time, but in my own experience, I still have plenty of time, even if I recalculated all my answers. The reason why is if you transfer them to the trial balance and the totals of both sides are not equal, you have to go back and recalculate your answers on these accounts to see which one you got wrong. So it is very important to make sure that the amount and the side, of course, is correct when transferring them to the trial balance. Second is to always read the questions more than once and always pay attention to the instructions like this one. So the answers should be in 2 decimal places for both questions. So even if the answer is, for example, 50, we have to write it as 50.00, and that is very important because even if the amount is correct, but we did not follow the instruction to enter them into 2 decimal places, our answer will not be counted as correct. And that's it for today's video. I hope you find it useful. If you want to watch more videos like this, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.